You know, we have to stay woke. Like, everybody needs to be woke. and you can talk about if you're the wokest or woker, but just stay more woke than less woke. Yeah.
What were you listening to when you was high? What was on? What song was it?
Oh, my goodness. Oh, yeah, definitely Snoop. Tupac, for sure.
Pause. Now that's a lie. In case you're not aware, Kamala Harris graduated Harvard University in 1986, and Tupac's debut CD didn't come out until 1991. In regards to Snoop Dogg, his first album came out in 1993. So what the hell is she talking about?
It's a political world, and you're in it. Meow, baby.
Okay, so what we're gonna cook today is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because you are Indian.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't know that everybody knows that, but I find that wherever I go and I see Indian people at the supermarket, on the street, everyone's like, you know, Kamala Harris is Indian, right? It's like our...
Certainly you could become the first Indian senator in U.S. history, which would be quite an accomplishment.
Knock wood.
I stand before you as the first candidate for Vice President of the United States of South Asian descent.
When I was Attorney General, I learned that the California Department of Corrections, which was a client of mine, I didn't get to choose my clients.
A client of the Attorney General.
A client of the Attorney General, of the Office of Attorney General, that they were standing in the way of surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. And there was a specific case. And when I learned about the case, I worked behind the scenes to not only make sure that that transgender woman got the services she was deserving. So it wasn't only about that case. I made sure that they changed the policy in the state of California so that every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access to the medical care that they desired and need. And I believe it was not only, I know it was historic in California, but I believe actually it may have been one of the first, if not the first in the country, where I pushed for that policy in a Department of Corrections.
We are all in this together, and your vote is your power. So please make sure your voice is heard this November and register to vote at vote.gov.
Can I get an amen?
Amen! Now on with the show.
And remember, you better vote.
I will not be shamed out of discussing this by people who say it's slut shaming or it's not relevant. It is relevant when a young candidate tries to sleep her way into politics and into power. And that is what it appears Kamala Harris did when she was a young political aspirant in San Francisco, when she had an affair with a man 30 years older than she was. She was 29 to 30 and he was 60, Willie Brown, who was like the godfather of San Francisco politics and very well known. And sure enough, that relationship paid dividends for her in more ways than one.
That's right, Megan. As you noted yesterday, it's completely fair game to talk about Willie Brown. It's how Kamala Harris went from a relatively unknown Alameda County prosecutor to the forefront of San Francisco's social life and politics. Willie Brown was the most powerful politician in California when Kamala Harris started dating him. And he also gave her a number of positions. We're talking about $400,000 back in the 1990s. That's almost $800,000 in today's money.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you. I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been. You know? What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been. So the United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea.
Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically that's wrong.
Have you ever smoked?
I have.
Okay. Like in
And
college,
I inhaled. I did inhale. It was a long time ago.
Now let's start with her blatant lies on The Breakfast Club, where she tried to appeal to the black community by stating that she smoked weed to Tupac and Snoop Dogg while she was in college.
So there are a lot of reasons why we need to legalize.
Have you ever smoked?
I have.
Okay. Like in
And
college,
I inhaled. I did inhale. It was a long time ago. But yes.
I know you have to go. They say you have to go.
I just broke news.
I mean, was it in college? See, I like stuff like that. That's a real honest answer. Was it a blunt or joint?
It was a joint.
Hey.
Yeah.
Do you remember the high?
I do.
What does Kamala Harris listen to?
What were you listening to when you was high? What was on? What song was
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, definitely Snoop. Tupac for sure.
Pause. Now that's a lie. In case you're not aware, Kamala Harris graduated Harvard University in 1986, and Tupac's debut CD didn't come out until 1991. In regards to Snoop Dogg, his first album came out in 1993. So what the hell is she talking about? Did you guys just catch that? In case that just went over your head, let me reiterate. Tupac's CD and Snoop Dogg's first CD did not come out until 1991 and 1993. So it was physically impossible for Kamala Harris to be listening to both of those CDs in college and to be smoking weed during that time like she alleged. Now, do you know why she told you guys that lie? She told you that lie so that way the black community could eat this up and agree with her. She was hoping to seem like a down-to-earth black chick who smoked weed and listened to hip-hop music so that way she could garner the black vote. This is no different than what Barack Hussein Obama did a couple years back with the black community.
I made bad choices. I got high without always thinking about the harm that it could do. I got high without always thinking about the harm that it could do. I got high without always thinking about the harm that it could do.
These democratic demons always try to infiltrate the black community by trying to come off as one of us, when in reality, they are so far from us, it's not even humanly funny.
Well, welcome, you guys.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. Ready to start?
Okay, go. So, I may not always be fast to take my parents' advice, but what is the best advice your parents have given you that perhaps you can share with us today?
You know, one of the most important pieces of advice that I can offer you guys, and I want you to really remember this, never let anybody tell you who you are. You tell them who you are. Never let anybody suggest to you that you are what they think you should be. You tell them who you are and who you know you are and what you intend to be. Got that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I got more advice. You just let me know.
So what is the most surprising thing you found about being vice president?
There have been a lot of things because I've never been vice president before. So